Call this meeting to order. This is the Borough of Somerville Zoning Board for January 21st, 2026. Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act has been provided. A copy of this notice specifying the date, time, and location was posted on the bulletin board outside Borough Hall, mailed, faxed, or emailed to the Courier News, and given to the clerk administrator. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to the issues the board may legally consider in reaching a decision, and the decorum appropriate to a judicial hearing must be maintained at all times. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Counselor, could you administer the oath to John Flores, Eric Alvarez, and Brian Vadinsky?
I don't have a copy of the oath available, but I think I remember it.
I can make it up.
Oh, thank you. All right, no, I appreciate it. I generally do this individually, but if you would prefer, we can do it all at once.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm always, I have, memory, not everybody feels the same way, but, all right, if you would all raise your right hand. I state your name.
John Flores,
Okay. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and the
States
Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
and to the governments established in the United States and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of zoning board member
all the duties of zoning board member
for the Borough of Somerville,
for the Borough of Somerville,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Give a copy of the agenda.
Roll call.
Art Adair is excused this evening. Ed Allat.
Here.
Roberta Karpanitz. Morgan McLaughlin.
Here.
Rich O'Neill.
Here.
Brian Vidimski.
Here.
John Flores.
Here.
Eric Alvarez.
Here.
And Stuart Daniels.
Here.
Next on the agenda, the election of officers. Need a motion for the chairperson.
I nominate Art Adair.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ed Allat.
Yes.
Roberta Karpanitz.
Yes.
Morgan McLaughlin.
Yes.
Rich O'Neill.
Yes.
Brian Vidimski.
Yes.
John Flores.
Yes.
Eric Alvarez.
Yes.
Stuart Daniels.
Yes.
A nomination for vice chair.
Second.
Roll call.
Roberta Karpanitz.
Yes.
Morgan McLaughlin.
Yes.
Rich O'Neill.
Yes.
Brian Vidimski.
Yes.
John Flores.
Yes.
Eric Alvarez.
Yes.
Stuart Daniels.
Yes.
And Ed Allat.
Yes. All right. Resolutions. Establishing the 2026 meeting procedures and meeting dates and January meeting dates for 2027. It's resolution ZB 26-0121-001. Need a motion to move it?
Chairman, you could take that all of them together
Okay.
if you like.
So, you want to read them all?
Sure. It's ZB001, establishing the 2026 meeting procedure and meeting dates, as well as the January meeting dates of 27. 002, designating the official newspapers. 003, the award of non-fair and open contract to Clifford Gibbons to perform legal services as a zoning board attorney. 004, authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract to Colon Associates to perform engineering and planning services as a zoning board engineer and planner. And 005, authorizing the award of non-fair and open contract to Mike Lambardozzi, the court reporter.
I need a motion to move those.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I gotta think about 004.
004. You're done thinking?
I'm done thinking.
Roll call, please.
Ed Allat,
Yes.
Roberta Carpenitz,
Yes.
Morgan McLaughlin,
Yes.
Rich O'Neill,
Yes.
Brian Vidimski,
Yes.
John Flores,
Yes.
Eric Alvarez,
Yes.
Stuart Daniels.
Yes.
Kevin, what was the minutes from? Was that from November?
Yeah, you don't have a set of minutes to vote, correct? No, we're a little behind on minutes. We had a gap in service with the board secretary, and they're being caught up, and hopefully by next meeting, you'll have the updates.
Do you have any other pending resolutions?
None that I'm aware of.
No, we were all cut up.
All right, application 2025-010Z. Step forward.
Counsel, would you enter your appearance, please?
Yes. My name is John DeLuca of the law firm Saville Shock. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant, Home of Somerset County. This is, like I said, an application by the Home of Somerset County. The property is located at 8890 West End Avenue. That's designated as Block 136, Lot 22 on the Borough of Somerville's tax maps. We're here tonight for a variance application as well as a change in use application. The owner of the property is Immaculate Conception Church. My client is the contract purchaser of the property. According to the tax assessment records, the site was developed in 1910. It has a single structure, which presents as a two-family dwelling, but it's been most recently used by the church for meetings, functions, events, religious education, and social ministry programs. However, currently the site is not in use. There is sufficient area on site for 4 parking spaces while still allowing for ingress and egress and traffic circulation. As I mentioned, my client, Home of Somerset, is the contract purchaser of the site. The site is located in the POR, Professional Office Residential District, where quite a variety of uses are permitted, and that includes many residential uses, a broad spectrum of professional office uses, and most notably, some social services, including child and youth services and also, quote, other social services. However, individual and family social services are not explicitly permitted in the zone, and therefore, to the extent that it may be necessary, we are requesting a D1 use variance to allow my client to operate at this site. So the applicant proposes to use the property for office space for its charitable operations. The applicant operates a charitable social services organization partnering with a network of religious congregants, governments, business and community organizations to provide emergency shelter among houses of worship in Somerset County, and it operates transitional homes for families that contribute toward their living expenses, and they provide comprehensive case management, counseling services. They create a home-like environment for clients, staff, volunteers, and embrace the cultural diversity through the strength of all individuals. So just to clarify, my client does not propose to shelter any families or individuals at the property. My client only proposes to use the property for offices in coordination with its charitable activities. So the applicant has 3 full-time employees, and you'll hear more of this from my witnesses who I'll identify in a moment. The applicant's hours of operations are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and the applicant currently operates in the very same zone, just it's really only one door down. It kind of leapfrogs a driveway, so they're just moving next door. This is a proposal to move from one location, essentially next door. No exterior alterations are proposed. At least no major exterior alterations. If they're necessary to upkeep property maintenance, then obviously we'll do that. But we're not adding any additions. We're not adding any improvements or curbing or paving. We are taking the property as is, updating it for the purposes of code compliance, and moving our operations from one building to the building next door. So the relief we're seeking, as identified in the report prepared by Cole and Associates LLC, which is dated January 15th, 2026, D1 use variance relief, D4 FAR variance relief. We also require a number of bulk variances. These are pre-existing conditions. The FAR is a pre-existing condition. The minimum lot area, minimum lot width, minimum frontage, minimum side yard setback for one side, and the driveway location. They're all existing conditions, but we do require relief for those. In addition, we may require a parking variance from this board, as the parking requirement in the zone is determined by the board. So if we are insufficient on parking, we're also requesting a variance for that condition. And then finally, we'll be requesting design waivers for no street trees, no shade trees, and no curbing around the parking areas. Again, these are the existing conditions on site, so we are requesting relief for that. With that, I'd like to identify my three witnesses who I'll present their testimony tonight. That's Alyssa Martini. She's the Executive Director at the Home of Somerset. Monsignor Joe Chilano of Immaculate Conception Church. As I mentioned, Immaculate Conception Church is the current owner of the site. The church is also the current owner of the site that my client currently operates out of. So my client operates under a lease with the church. They're going to be purchasing the property from the church that we're talking about tonight. And then finally, my last witness is Craig Stiers, a licensed professional engineer. So for the sake of the record, I'd just like to note that notice of this application has been provided as required by municipal land use law, and proofs of publications and certified mailings have been submitted to the board. And unless there's any legal questions or housekeeping matters that you would like to ask me or for me to address, then I would ask that my first witness be invited up and sworn in to testify.
Counselor, I just want to confirm that I have reviewed your notice, your client's notice, pursuant to the MLUL, and find that it is legally sufficient as to form and content.
Thank
The
you very
board
much,
can
Counsel.
exercise jurisdiction over the application.
Thank you very much, Counsel.
Sorry for my voice.
No problem.
Ma'am, would you stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Alyssa Martini, M-A-R-T-I-N-I.
Okay, is that microphone working over there?
Why don't you say it again?
Do it again?
That's okay.
Okay.
I could barely hear you. so-
Okay.
All right, great.
So Alyssa, what can you tell us about your organization and why we are here tonight?
Sure. So my name is Alyssa Martini. I'm the Executive Director of Home of Somerset County. We are a 501(c) nonprofit. My history with Home is very long-standing, starting in 2007 as a student of social work that turned into full-time employment since 2010, where I've held several positions, including being the director for the past 10 years. Needless to say, I have a strong vested interest in the past, present, and future of this agency. Home, formerly the Interfaith Hospitality Network of Somerset County, empowers families to achieve and maintain independence by offering comprehensive housing, outreach, multi-faith, and empowerment initiatives for the past 34 years. We do this through 6 intensive case management programs centered on meeting the basic needs of families through housing stabilization guidance, strengthening family foundations, and connection to essential resources. Our services include providing emergency shelter through a network of interfaith congregations, transitional housing in partnership with North Branch Reformed Church in Bridgewater, and community outreach initiatives that help stabilize vulnerable households through targeted resource support. We integrate food security, mental health services, and financial counseling to support families on their path to long-term stability, making Home a community-based model that is truly holistic to ensure the best outcomes for those that we serve. Our most recent annual numbers reflect 58 families served, 1,348 nights of shelter provided through partner congregations, 10,300 plus meals, 4,500 plus case management hours, and over 37 faith-based and community partners who deliver shelter and meals off-site. We are an agency of both big and little victories, celebrating a 90% success rate of households maintaining independence over a 5-year period. Our partnerships are rooted in the county and specifically in Somerville for over 3 decades. We have strong ties to the interfaith community, including Church of the Immaculate Conception, Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, First United Methodist Church, St. John's Episcopal Church, United Reformed Church, and the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Somerset Hills. We have longstanding partnerships with Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, which has provided bedding for our emergency shelter component since the program's inception. We're an active participant on the Robert Wood Johnson Healthier Somerset Committee, which is dedicated to improving the community for the residents. We hold advisory roles for the Healing Homes program, also managed by Robert Wood Johnson, which offers transitional housing for homeless households with medical needs. We have close collaboration with the Department of Human Services Community Development Office, including positions on the Continuum of Care Committee, which is dedicated to coordinated support for the county's homeless residents. Other local supporters include the Somerville Knights of Columbus, the Ancient Order of Hibernians, and a growing relationship with Unity Bank located right down the street from our office on Mountain Avenue. We're also an active member of the Somerset County Business Partnership, in which we received recognition in 2025 as Nonprofit of the Year. So since our inception, we have been blessed to operate our administrative office from 98 West End Avenue in Somerville as a donated space, with our landlord being the Church of the Immaculate Conception. Home has simply outgrown our donated space. We are under contract to purchase 8890 West End Avenue from our current landlord, being the church. This move, as John described, is literally just across the driveway, about a door down. And the significance of this move is to keep home embedded in the same Somerville neighborhood, provide significantly more square footage, improve privacy, dignity, and confidentiality for our families. We need to expand staff capacity from 3 desks in a very small room to 3 private offices. And we need to improve parking availability to 4 owned spots to accommodate our staff versus our current site in which we don't have that. Currently, there's 3 full-time staff utilizing our current office space on a daily basis, with business hours between Monday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All client services are conducted by appointment, which ensures predictable low-volume traffic to the site. Volunteer activity consists of brief, staggered drop-offs. These are minimal in duration and do not generate any measurable increase in traffic flow or congestion beyond the typical neighborhood patterns. We really envision and anticipate this to be a seamless move of continued use with no expansion to our agency, rather an enhanced continuation of our current operations. We'll continue to manage operations and all its components in the same manner as we do now, just with increased space and privacy that will increase productivity and greatly improve our service delivery. So with all that being said, I just want to say I'm truly honored to be here on behalf of Home, and my personal and professional growth continues to align with the evolution of this agency and the hopeful future. It's a privilege to be part of the impactful work that we accomplish together, and we remain committed to meeting the needs of our neighbors who live, work, and contribute so meaningfully to this county and Somerville in particular. So I greatly appreciate your consideration tonight, and thank you.
Thank you for that statement, Alyssa. I just have a couple of questions, and most of them are geared towards addressing some of the comments in the planning report. So do you currently host, or do you intend to host special events on site?
No.
No? When families come, or when individuals come seeking your help and assistance, do you provide food or meals or refreshments on site?
No,
Okay, and do you currently take out waste and recycling at your current location?
yes,
And will you do that at your future location?
yes.
Okay. And do you know how often it's picked up by any chance?
Once a week.
Okay.
Recycling is twice a week.
Okay, and is that brought out to the curb? Is it picked up?
Brought out to the curb.
Okay, and you'll continue to do that at the next site?
Yes.
All right. I don't have any further questions for you. If the board has any further questions
Member
for
of
you?
the boards have any question of this witness?
No? All right, thank you. My next witness will be,
Hold on a sec, Counselor. Anyone in the public have any?
oh, my apologies.
Don't forget the public. Anybody from the public have any questions of this witness? Sir, to step up to the mic here, state your name. And just keep in mind, sir, you have to ask questions about the testimony that she just gave.
Yes, my name is Steve Mitnick, and we own the property next door to you, and we wish you the best of luck with what you're looking to
Thank
do.
you.
But we like to maintain a seam of privacy between your property and ours. Our concern is with cars and pedestrians walking or cars driving through and making it a loop. Because there's nothing there now, whether it could just be wheel stops or a curbing or something in conjunction with, a privacy fence off the corner. That would be the only concern, which there used to be a fence there, all right? The only other thing is, I know you said nothing on the exterior, but there's considerable amount of building repairs. The gutters are off the building, the
Yes.
siding is blowing off. You have a big project ahead of you on the exterior alone.
Yes.
Believe me.
Yes.
Been here a long time, okay? So that's it for me.
Before you leave, just state your address.
8486 West End Avenue,
Thank you,
next
sir.
door. Thank you.
So I just want to respond to the comments. Other than to say we consent and we agree with all of the concerns raised by our future neighbor, or current neighbor, really, because we're already right in this location, we would consent to some type of a screening within the parking area so that it doesn't become a loop through the two properties. As you'll hear from our engineer, we are actually intending to designate that area for parking, so it would make sense to block it off and not invite a circular traffic flow across the property boundary line. And in terms of the exterior work that's to be done, I would characterize that as maintenance as opposed to some improvement proposal that we would typically seek a board approval for. Those are maintenance issues that I'm sure you'd want to upkeep your property just to have a nice presentation for people coming.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else from the audience have any more questions? You're all set, Counselor.
Thank you. All right, now my next witness will be Monsignor Joe Chilano.
Good evening, Monsignor.
How
Would
are
you
you
raise
tonight?
your right hand? You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
Thank you very much. Would you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Sure. Monsignor Joe Joseph Solano, C-E-L-A-N-O.
Thank you very much.
Pronounced it correctly, though, with the Italian Celano. Yeah.
Your witness, Counselor.
All right. Thank you for being here, Monsignor. What can you tell us about your relationship and history with the applicant?
So my own relationship with Home of Somerset County actually goes back almost 25 years, when they were originally IHN, the Interfaith Hospitality Network. At the time, I was pastor of St. Bernard's in Bridgewater, and we were one of the host congregations. So our congregation opened its facilities to homeless families, and they would spend a week with us and then move on. I know the work of Home of Somerset County. I'm a huge supporter of what they do. So when I became pastor of Immaculate Conception in Somerville, I was well aware that Home was sitting in our parking lot, and I became aware of the fact that they were growing beyond their current facilities. We had a larger facility to offer them, literally right across the parking lot. This house, which we have come to call Nazareth House, had served the parish over the years. However, it was no longer providing the necessary resources that the parish needed. It was simply too small for us. So I had offered the sale to Home. And they needed a larger facility. I had a larger facility, and it literally is a move right across the parking lot.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
And that was easy.
Any member of the boards have any questions of this witness?
Nope.
Thanks, Rich. You know, I can just put in the purgatory here. Anybody from the audience have any questions of this witness? Is that Counselor?
All right, thank you.
Good, thank you.
My next and final witness will be Mr. Craig Stiers, our professional engineer.
Mr. Stiers, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Craig Stiers, S-T-I-R-E-S.
I believe Mr. Chairman, that the board can stipulate to
We'll
Mr.
stipulate.
Stiers' credentials. We don't see him very much, but that'll be up to the
frequent
board,
flyer.
of course.
Is the board able to see what I'm presenting, or no?
No.
No?
Sure,
No.
we can make that accommodation. If you
Sorry,
give us
sorry
one
about
second.
Technology.
Hey, Craig, just move the mics this way. I'll move over.
All right. So, Mr. Stiers, what can you tell us about our map of survey exhibit and what's being proposed here?
It's interesting that we do call it a map of survey because that's kind of where we started. Mr. Saville called me up and asked for a favor to try and help out with this application. So it started with a survey, and we gave the survey over. And suddenly a year later, John calls me up and says, "Hey, we got a review letter from Mike Cole saying we needed to add this and that." So while it is a map of survey, it is somewhat of a site plan. But it is indicative of what has been testified to tonight, is that the intent was not to change anything on the exterior. So that's why we really weren't proposing anything. If you were looking at that survey on the screen there, as I've been saying throughout the night again, is they're currently located at the top of the plan, and that strip between the lines, for lack of a better term, is the driveway going into Immaculata School.
I don't want to interrupt you, but actually, there is another exhibit that was submitted with the application that
Yeah.
perfectly depicts what we're looking at. So both of the exhibits that we've shown were submitted with the application.
Yeah, so I can continue with that. Now you can see it much more clearly. Is on the left-hand side, you have where they're currently located. It's interesting, just the history of Somerville is the old Fronheim house prior to them moving out, and probably when they leased the property itself, because it was brought at the same time. And then you have the driveway going into the Immaculate Conception School/church, and then on the right-hand side is where they would be relocating to. So it's basically picking up, moving across the driveway and into the new facility. The site does have 2 parking spaces in the back. Based on review of the previous approval and plan, it looks like there should have been 2 parking spaces with a ADA space, which is basically the paved area immediately behind the structure itself. Yes, right there. So I would say that as far as the changes or additions to the plans would be to add that ADA space, the blanks, obviously, so it'd be an 8-foot parking space, 8-foot blank. Based on the agreement with the neighbor, we'd probably put a fence up right in front of those parking spaces. And then obviously, like the neighbor also mentioned, the gutters, some of the siding, some of the soffits, those need to be repaired because the gutters have fallen off. So those are going to be the exterior improvements that we're going to make. Also, based on a site visit today and review of the previous approved plan, there are 3 lights. One faces the back, which would be for the parking lot, and then there are 2 on the side of the house, side of the building, that would illuminate the driveway coming in. So it looks like those were put up as part of the approval process in the previous application. Everything else is, like John said, we were asking for waivers for, you know, all the other things, other than just obviously the cosmetic improvements to the exterior of the building.
I have no further questions for Mr. Stiers.
Is there a ramp in the back of that building, into the building? Is that accessible?
Now, there's a door that's flush with the ground.
Are there steps on the inside to get in, or?
I would possibly, yeah. I think the one last thing is, you know, I know we filed for a use variance as far as the, you know, the use of the use, I guess you could say. But I did look into the usage in the POR and the ordinance itself. And if you were to look under other social services, which has an SIC number of 839, and then you look up the SIC number itself, the uses under that code are very consistent with what was outlined in the testimony in the beginning. It's very much, you know, you can't pinpoint it because of all the good things and all the things that they do, but it's basically social services that relate to charitable things, disability services, you know, like was introduced. So I'm not sure that it's even a use variance in itself based on what's in the ordinance and associating that with the SIC code. But we did.
We noticed
Notice
for
for
it,
it
and we
anyway.
did apply for it, so.
Do you have any questions of Mr. Stiers?
Just one quick one. And you may or may not know the answer, and I shouldn't, but don't. Which side of this street are the utility lines on? Do you know, telephone poles? I can't picture it, and I should know.
They think they may be on the same side as the house.
I'm thinking that, so that the street trees kind of get in the way of that.
Yeah.
I'm no fan of putting trees under utility lines.
Yeah, I did take pictures, but I did not get back far enough to see that.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, the overhead does come in the southeast corner of the house itself.
Because you're looking for a waiver on street trees. and
Yeah.
You don't want to put them underneath the utility.
Yeah. I mean, the trees on that side also are set back off the street, and there is a tree already in the front yard, so it's somewhat consistent with the rest of the properties.
Yep.
Anybody else from the board have any more questions?
I've got a question of our attorney. Do we need to be here?
Well, of course, under the MLU, we do need to be here and under our own ordinance. I had one question, and I know that Mr. Cole and I had discussed it. The property in question is subject to previous approvals, and Mr. Cole's report recites instances where apparently conditions of approval for previous approvals on this property have not been complied with. I mean, what is the applicant prepared to do, or the predecessor in title who's about to turn the property over? What is the applicant prepared to do in terms of compliance with those conditions of approval? Will they be complied with, or because frankly, the conditions of approval are like a contract. I mean, they are obligations which are applicable to the seller, to the recipient, the buyer, who is the applicant. And, I mean, I'm aware of this. I've been the board attorney for a few years now, and I know as a substitute attorney for my predecessor, you know, things like this came up previously, and I'm just wondering what has been done or what is intended to be done to comply with those conditions.
Well, I think the things that were brought up in Mike's report are not this property. Most of those are outlined as 240 Mountain Avenue, which is the high school.
All right.
So it's related to the owner, but not the applicant. And I don't think it'd be fair to penalize the applicant for something completely unrelated to what they're doing.
And in terms of any of the conditions for prior approvals on this property, the ones that stick out in my mind are the ADA space. We're willing to comply with that. We'll paint the space and designate it and sign it properly. And lighting, and we will.
And the lighting's there.
And the lighting is there, and any external property maintenance will be addressed.
All right, very well. Now, I mean, because we do have a continuing, what appears to be a continuing issue with I guess not just this property, but other properties owned by the church. So, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be the Scrooge here, or the bad guy, but it is something that the conditions of approval are essentially obligations that inure to the applicant, the successful applicant. So this is something that you have to do, and I mean, I guess the only thing I would say is parenthetically, please keep that in mind, and not only with respect to this property, but your other properties.
Yeah, I mean, speaking for my other applications, not related to Immaculata, but the properties and applications we have, Mike is very thorough in finishing his applications. So, and holding whatever it may be, escrows or whatever, getting the as-built. So I think ultimately this is more of an enforcement on the borough than anything else. I mean, like I said, the scrutiny that we get at the end.
Right.
And that's standing up for Mike, is that, we don't get the COs until we get it done, so.
And I would expect that to be the case here. If there's conditions in any resolution of approval following this matter, we will comply with those conditions, and we wouldn't expect to be able to move forward until those conditions are complied with.
Very good. Mr. Cole, is that satisfactory to you?
Yeah, it's just one thing, Craig. There's an existing license agreement for parking on the adjoining parking lot. Based on the orientation, it makes sense to me to have the employees park on site and any clients, so it's a one-way drive, to park on the adjoining parking lot. What's your thoughts on that? Is there a need for a parking license agreement with the adjoining parking
Well, I
lot?
think that is gonna continue, if it's my understanding.
That's what I'm saying. Based on the language in there, it has to be restated.
It will be amended.
So I'm saying in the agreement, it was 8 spaces, which makes perfect sense to me for having, because it's a much bigger lot, and you don't have people coming in and out of that
Yeah.
small. So the position is to reinstate the existing license with the new entities. Is that what we're saying here?
That is correct.
Yes.
We will be amending and updating that agreement, and it will be recorded.
I think that addresses that license agreement issue. And it puts the parking for the clients and guests on the adjoining property, which I think is appropriate.
And one other question, I know this has been going on, like I said, for probably a better part of a year, and I know that they've been trying to get themselves going. Would it be acceptable, because, a lot of times is we have to wait to the resolution, I have to make the changes to the plans, we go back and forth.
Yeah.
Would it be acceptable to at least allow them to submit for permits? Even if the permits are done, release them when we're all finished, instead of like you and I finishing and then submitting for permits. To kind of let it take a parallel course, and then when we're done, we're done.
Craig, I don't have a problem with that except for the ADA spot. The DCA says that you gotta have the
Yes.
accessibility in.
Yes.
So
Yes,
if we can do some accommodation where you stripe it
yep,
2%, the normal thing, if the boards are,
Well, I think Craig's talking about getting the application, the
Yes.
building permits in, not released, but in, so they can do
Yes.
their thing and.
right,
start
and the
motion.
building department is saying that they don't wanna do that until compliance is done because they're under a clock, a 21-day. I can't speak for them. What I'm suggesting is in the
well, I mean,
next 3 weeks.
if they have 21 days, they issue the permits, and just don't release them as a condition of satisfying the site plan. So you're in compliance, I would think.
I'm not arguing with you, Craig. I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. You're saying, why can't we do this in parallel?
Right,
And I don't disagree. I'm just saying it's dealing with others being.
Yep.
They typically don't accept the plans until we're through compliance. Now,
that's why I'm asking.
right, so I can certainly ask the CO whether he'll review these in the interim, is what we're saying, and get the ball rolling.
Yes.
Because you can't really stripe snow and ice.
I agree.
Agree, especially this
I
coming
agree.
weekend.
Yes,
From a compliance point of view, if Craig shows a plan that it complies, the installation's a different story. It's getting the plans done so that, as Craig knows, the signage is on the plan.
Yeah.
It's 2% all directions, and the stuff that we do all the time. If he gets a revised plan in, I agree, Rich, that if this can't be done for a number of months, we can deal with that. There's mechanisms in place. But I agree with Craig that it makes sense to keep keep things moving.
Yeah.
But I don't think we have a problem if you ask if you can do that from the construction official.
Yes. I can ask, Craig.
Okay.
But don't kill the messenger. I can ask.
Any other questions from the board? Any member of the public have any questions of this witness?
I do. You mentioned 240 Mountain Avenue with the church.
Step back up to the mic, sir.
I'm sorry.
This-
Will you be checking?
State your name again, sir. I'm sorry.
Sorry?
State your name again.
I'm sorry,
Forgot
Steve
this.
Matnick, neighbor next door. Will you be doing a survey of the property and put markers in?
We have done the survey.
There's markers, corner markers? I'm concerned, where my concern is for both properties is where the dumpster is. The church's dumpster right now, if that's conforming or not. We think it's on our property. I don't want to bring up the issue now. I know you're aware of it. Brian Blute was out there. Okay, and
I think the dumpster is on the adjoining property. I don't think it's on this subject site. I think it's on the.
I believe that it is.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. If he surveys, because it's going to be in conflict for them.
Where would it be?
It would be on
So here's, this is,
the northern side, Craig, would be on
When you were
the
showing
edge.
this, you see this bump out actually cantilevers onto our property. It was agreed to a long time ago that it was acceptable.
Yep.
The church, right here. That's the dumpster.
so that's back here, which is behind our property.
Yes, it's behind both property, my property and their property.
Right.
We believe it's on our property though. So if you did a survey, then you would have picked up on that being on the property or not.
Yeah, but if it's not a fixed feature,
It is a fixed feature.
okay.
It's a dumpster enclosure, Craig. There was an approval for that dumpster from about 10 years ago, and
We
Craig,
can put, like,
your
flags
brother
at the
did that,
stakes.
and we can get the plans and make sure. Your brother was out there, did the light study, and the dumpster was done with an architect named Steve Kowalski. I think we can get those plans to Craig, so
How
that we
close
can
can that
sort.
dumpster be to our property line or the property line by code?
There is none. It was approved by this board of, a number of years ago.
So it was all right for them to push the fence over, our fence over to get it in?
That I don't know. I understand.
We
that
could go out there and
We have
you'll see it.
I understand what you're saying. There's a masonry enclosure, so the board remembers.
So it is off your property.
Well,
It's in the report,
this is the
but the
concrete
board came, ICS came in front of the board for parking enhancements, ADA, site lighting, the dumpster enclosure, and to get a ramp into the gymnasium, into the building. So that was all done. It was David Steyer's firm and Steve Kowalski was the architect.
Excuse me, the stream is gonna pick both of yous up, so
Okay.
I just
I,
can't have
we
you
can
speaking on the
certainly, I can
microphone.
get Craig the information. The borough has that information, so we can sort that out.
It is on the plan. I
Okay.
just noticed that the concrete pad is outlined, and
Okay.
it's on.
The adjoining
Immaculate.
property?
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
Any other questions from the audience of this witness? Okay, Counselor, summation?
I have a very brief summation. It's hopefully this is the, one of the more simple applications that this board sees this year.
So far.
That's fair enough. We're seeking all the relief necessary for Home of Somerset to move its operations from 98 to 8890 West End Avenue to continue the wonderful work they do. So that's it. Thank you.
Where do we, make the move this from the public session?
Just one question I have. Will the applicant agree to having Mr. Cole's report compliance with it, with its comments and recommendations as a condition of approval?
Just,
We customarily do that.
just the ADA.
Yeah, I think we can't consent to the comments as to off-site improvements as to other properties, but as to the ADA, to the lighting, we certainly can consent. But anything that's off-property, my client can't consent to.
All right, I guess the best way to say this is that, one would hope that the applicant's on notice that those other properties need to be attended to as well. I mean,
I think the owner is certainly on notice, but the applicant does not own those properties.
No, I understand, but the owner should be on notice that this is a continuing problem and it does need to be attended to.
That is appreciated. Thank you.
So as noted, not the other properties. We got that.
Right.
Yeah.
Motion to close the public session?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
board? Comments?
Yeah, I'll repeat my original comment because I usually don't make sense, but I'm not even sure why we're here. But since we are here, I think it's a decent application. It's preserving the building as is. It'll look like a house, blend in with the neighborhood. Waivers on trees, you don't need to put trees there. I mean, it just, I can't say any more. In fact, I think it should be approved.
Anybody else?
I think the hardest part for the applicant is new business cards, but beyond that, it seems pretty easy.
Great use, great application.
Someone like to make a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call?
Ed Allet,
Yes.
Roberta Carpenitz,
Yes.
Morgan McLaughlin,
Yes.
Rich O'Neill,
Yes.
Brian Vidimski,
Yes.
John Flores,
Yes.
and Eric Alvarez. And-
Yes.
And Stuart does not get a vote because.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
subject to our standard conditions of approval and the other things that were put on the record.
Sorry,
Yes.
Stu.
All good.
John, can you stay for a moment to talk about the other ones? All right. Congratulations.
Mike, do we have anything else?
We have an opportunity, we have a couple of applications. PSC&G was supposed to be on for the first Wednesday, the 4th of February. And then we have a warehouse application. As of correspondence today, PSC&G cannot make the 4th, so we have an opportunity. I asked John to stay because we have an application, 69 West End, that's unfinished business. And you have an email correspondence I sent to a attorney from same firm as John, Michael Grodnick. We have to, if we're gonna make this window, we have to move quick. And if you look at my email, I'm just looking for a complete set of plans so that the board can see one set of drawings, I can review one set, and if I have that, I can do the review and make this happen. I'm just asking for the board to give some direction. I asked John to stay so John can communicate this, because we don't have, the time is really tight. And I don't want to lose the date so that we don't have an application in front of this board on the first Wednesday being February 4th. So the email just went out to Michael Grodnick, the attorney, 3:30 today. There's a bunch of submissions. I'm looking for a complete package for the board to review and for me to review. I'm just trying to get some feedback from the board if that's the direction the board wants to go in terms of one package.
I don't see how we can do it any other way. It's
Right,
gotta
I
be-
agree.
It's gotta be a complete package. We're not cutting and pasting applications, putting them together.
I agree, thank you. That's the direction I'm looking for the board, and John, that's why I wanted you to stay here, that you hear it, so that we get some, and we get action on this next week, so that it comes in, I can review it, get it to the applicant within usually 10 days out, they can provide notice, and we're just a very tight time frame. So I talked to John before the meeting, and I thought I'd bring up to the board, and his email says he'll be in touch with the board. I'm just looking for some direction. John's here to get this complete set of plans in, and I'll rock and roll on it. This is, to refresh the board, this is the 69 West End. It was the old Edwards Engineering where there was proposed 8 apartments, 2 in the basement.
Right.
It was revised to take it back. They asked for a continuance. The board said, fine, continuance, have you. And they revised the plans, took the basement apartments out, expanded the first floor into the porch, and did the ADA ramps, everything we discussed. So that's going to be, if I get a complete set, we can finish that hearing. We've had 2 hearings on it, so I know the board wants to see closure. I would like to see closure, and I'm just looking for some help here. And John volunteered to take the message, so I got him sitting here like saying, what did Cole do to me? It's not even my application, I'm stuck here, listen to this.
Oh, Mike, you mentioned February 4th. This February?
Yes, do I have the date right? It's the first
I think
Wednesday?
it's the 11th, isn't it?
No,
The next?
no.
Oh, we've got a list.
On the agenda here, it says February 18th.
The zoning board meeting, you have a February 4th and a February 18th.
We're
You
meeting
have
twice a month.
Meetings twice a
Morgan,
month.
until we get the backlog done.
Again?
So the first is, it's,
Wasn't on this.
On our dates?
Yeah.
'Cause our main meetings are on the
Yeah.
The 3rd.
Well, the workshop meetings, I don't have an answer. Morgan, it's a very good question. It's a workshop meeting. We've been using the 2 meetings to get rid of the backlog. We have 3 or 4 applications, so the hopes was we can go back to 1 meeting starting in April. But every time I say that, it's the opposite happens.
If it's not published as a meeting, can we legally?
The meetings, sorry, Rich, the meetings, the 2 meetings a month was published.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So our next meeting is February 4.
Yeah, it's the first Wednesday, the first and the third Wednesday of the month. So it's the 4th. PSC&G says they can't make it. I would like to make that a productive meeting because the applicant also wants to get on the agenda. So
Make it happen.
Well, it's
So-
really up to them to get the plans in and
Right.
get it.
just, I said in the email to Mr. Ogrodnik that I would get the board's temperature on this. And I asked John to stay, so I'm hopeful that we can. I know you were, John, that's.
Lean on your planner and engineer. I know I've been in that position.
When do we run off the clock?
The extension for the time for the board to act is through the end of February. What started this email is I sent an email to Michael Ogrodnik last week or a week and a half ago saying, we have PSC&G in the interim, we had applications, I was asking for an extension. And that's what started the dialogue.
So what else do you have for inventory that we have coming up?
We have some homeowner applications, if they ever get deemed complete, and we have PSC&G, and we have 2 self-storage applications coming in. One for 79 Route 206, the old diner site that's demolished, and one across from Borough Hall. So we have those 2, and we have PSC&G, and we have 69 West End that we just discussed. And then we have some residential applications.
So it looks like probably February, March, and April will meet twice a month?
I would hope that the backlog would be down, that we could meet once a month. After, you're right, Morgan, after, I would think April.
Okay.
I would just ask a question. If we start running off the clock, running out of time, I'm not really a fan of extending these without neighbors being notified and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I'd rather dismiss them.
Well, the applicant, that's why John's sitting here, has to, the board left it that they have to provide notice when we're coming back. So that was why,
I mean, just as a general policy.
I got it. Rich, I understand completely. I'm a little nervous because we're so tight here. I don't want to see a problem with noticing or getting the reports together so that
Right.
We don't want to see default
we've
approval.
seen this application twice. I'm trying to get it third time to be, that we have all the information and the noticing is done. And the applicant gets heard in February as opposed to March sometime.
Yeah, but we
So-
should be, we just don't want, as the attorney says, we don't want any defaults.
Right, that's, and I understand, let me make sure. So we'll be meeting February 4, March 4, and April 1, April Fool's Day.
It's appropriate.
Okay, very good. In addition to the other meetings that are set forth on Resolution ZB 26-0121-001.
The one of the PSC&G wants to be heard in March. They requested it, so they're down for one of the March meetings. We have the self-storage on the 18th, that's the 3rd Wednesday of February. And the other self-storage has not been deemed complete, but they're really close. And then we have 69, and there's a bunch of residentials, but I don't want to talk about residentials because sometimes they disappear for a year, literally a year.
I will ask them.
John, thanks for staying.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, John.
Have a good one, everyone.
Got anything else there, Michael?
That's it?
I have no comments. Any motion for adjournment?
I'll move it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.